Hello again, friends. This is the Marketing Mix Promotions Part 2. We will look at public relations, we'll look at sales promotion, personal sales. We're going to wrap up the lecture series with this last video. So, public relations, again, another great career that many of you may find yourselves in, majoring in. This encompasses the non-sales communication, not trying to sell the product. We may have to do damage, crisis control, and we're trying to build that favorable corporate image. It's the things we do to earn the share in the marketplace of goodwill. Two types of publics always consider. We have internal publics. We have our employees of the organization. We always want to go out with that same message. Sometimes organizations just try to do a crisis control or some sort of public relations event, and employees get left out, and we just focus on the external publics. You should always have your internal and external publics managed very well, so when we do go out with our message, we're all on that same page. Public relations crisis. How do we fix it? How do we manage a crisis? What are some strategies? If you remember back in spring of 2017, this was United Airlines. That's Dr. Dow, and he is literally being ripped out of his seat and dragged down the aisle as people are watching and videoing because he would not surrender his seat to other United employees. It was a Sunday afternoon flight, actually evening flight, about 6 o'clock. And usually if it's a booked flight, one of the stewards will come up and say, flight attendants, and say, would you like to give up your seat? We'll give you a voucher for so much money and we'll get you on the next plane. Now on a Sunday night, nobody really wants to leave because the next plane's Monday morning, and who wants to sit in an airport all night or even an airport hotel? Well, Dr. Doe stood up because he couldn't understand the question. And when he got up, they thought, United, he's surrendering his seat. And he said, oh, no, I didn't know what the question was. I didn't understand how you said it. Well, that's all it took to be dragged down the aisles. And you can YouTube this. It's very unfortunate and terrible. Not unfortunate, it's terrible what happened. The friendly skies of United. In 4 days, such bad publicity went through the market that they lost $100 million of their brand valuation. The big problem was the CEO of United Airlines directly came out within a short period of time and said we had every right to drag off a disgruntled passenger. That was within our right. I applaud my employees, I applaud the police, and we'll do it again. $100 million brand valuation in 4 days, losing, and $250 million of market capitalization. That's basically people were selling that stock short, and so 2 billion hits on YouTube. Dr. Dow was Chinese, and so the Asian continent, China was very upset because they thought that was some sort of racial profiling, and YouTube that was one of the biggest hits they had seen of all time in just a matter of a few days. How do you deal with a crisis response in public relations? Well, hopefully not like United Airlines, but there are strategies that are proven in public relations that you may come upon. Now, United decided to attack. You can attack in certain circumstances. This is when you attack the accuser, in which the organization confronts the group or people that they claim the crisis exists. They basically are trying to really belittle the person to take away all credibility of the attack. Now, of course, this didn't happen in United because we saw everything via video. Now, many organizations will just will be in denial. Oh, no, there's no crisis. You're wrong on that. Everything is fine, and no need to look behind the curtain. That is a strategy. You can deflect. Okay, this is which the organization puts the blame of the crisis somewhere else. Now, it's not our fault. It was a subcontractor. Okay, Samsung tried to do this a couple of years ago when their Samsung Galaxy 7, I believe, was blowing up because of the batteries. It wasn't our fault. It was a subcontinent back and blamed somewhere else, denying that. Again, that's I'm sorry. That's when you are deflecting that. It's not us. Can you defend it? Yeah, you can. Your defense is we're just going to keep doing what we're doing. Okay. The organization defends their position during the crisis. Several years ago, H&M had a terrible social media ad of a young African American boy in a monkey suit saying "coolest monkey in the jungle," and that infuriated just hundreds of thousands immediately of their followers. Even The Weeknd, the artist The Weeknd, who was a influencer for H&M, immediately took to social media and said, how stupid are you to do this? And he basically disassociated themselves. What they did, in a sense, was they waited very long to have a response, like 48 hours or 2 to 3 days, which is a lifetime on social media, of course. And then they said, okay, well, we don't see the problem, but they took it down from their American websites to buy the outfit and the ad, but it was left in Europe. So basically, they were just defending themselves. You can excuse, okay, the organization attempts to diminish organizational responsibility for the crisis. Look, excuse us, maybe we're a little bit just, we're going to try to make it better, just, very minimally doing anything. You can play the victim, the organization. This is when they prompt stakeholders that, hey, you know what, we're a victim of this as well. It's not just us. We didn't just do this on somebody else. We're also being victimized. Okay? Didn't say it worked, but it is a strategy. Minimization. This is in which the organization attempts to minimize the perceived damage inflicted by the crisis. Guys, it's not that bad. Okay, what we did, it has minimal effect on other people. So let's just keep going about our business. We're gonna figure it out. Okay, so they're taking some blame, but it's it's minimizing it. We could ingratiate. All right, ingratiation is when the organization, we're gonna praise our stakeholders and remind them, hey, we've done so many great things in the past by our organization. Don't forget what we have done. Yes, just because this is happening, we're really, really good. That's what you call ingratiation. Now we're getting into, what we would like to see as consumers, the corrective action. This is when the organization tries to prevent a reoccurrence of the crisis and fix the damage done. All right, we're taking ownership. We are trying to correct it. And of course, the full circle is full apology. This is when we accept responsibility for the crisis and ask forgiveness from the stakeholders. We are so sorry that happened. We are taking corrective action, and we will not let this happen again. I think that's all United Airlines had to do. And a corrective action in the end, in the end they did this. But this is at the forefront. They went to this mode. In the end, Dr. Diao, again, broken nose, he had a concussion, he had broken teeth, he was a doctor, he basically lived in paranoia for about 3 years. Said he couldn't even walk outside his apartment, gave up his practice. Out of court settlement predicts that he got at least $140 million. And through it all the airlines came up with a plan that they could offer up to $5,000 per ticket to ask someone to surrender their seat and get the next flight free. So interesting ways. This is what you have to work with in public relations in the crisis strategies. Let's look at what some companies are doing and have done. Good business practices. All right, Home Depot. Okay, good business practices, maybe the best advertising that you never have to pay for. And Hurricane Katrina, and as well as in Joplin, Missouri, and all the natural disasters from nature that we have seen in the past decade. But this was a terrible one, of course, around 2005 when Hurricane Katrina hit the Gulf Coast. And, people are just in misery. Their homes are a wreck. They need to board up windows, doors, because homes took so much of a beating. And so This nice little 4x8 of plywood, it's really not even plywood, it's pressboard. Let's say it's generally speaking $6 back in those days a sheet. Well, when the stores open up on Monday morning, people are very scared. They have cash in their pocket. They're thinking, given the law of supply and demand and price gouging, that these are going to go $20 a board or $40. Home Depot said we will not increase our prices 1 penny because of this national disaster. Home Depot sent what is considered at least 800 truckloads of materials to the South. They have a disaster response system. They do the same in Joplin, Missouri. They did the same last year or 2 years ago when the hurricanes that have hit Houston. And so, you know what? They're ready to go. Wow. The editorials that came through for Home Depot were amazing. And Walmart as well. Basically, they said if the national government would have acted as fast as Home Depot did, we may have averted such a terrible humanitarian crisis that we saw all along the Gulf Coast in 2005. So, great stuff, my friends. Again, in our marketing plan. So, we're outlining a promotional mix, all right? We're going to use the paid, own, earn, shared, and those are the tools that we have. If we're thinking, again, for earning it right in here, this is the earned area for our good friend Sophia, or for your own marketing plan. We mentioned on our last video that what could she do? Perhaps she can team up with a nonprofit organization, provide them food. She can go into just a litany of things she could do. We talked about, the Habitat for Humanity on the big day of service that she sponsors one group or several groups. She basically has their breakfast and lunch for them as they're working to rebuild homes in the community. And yeah, obviously we would post that on all of our social media, and I'm sure others would too, of what a great service she's done. So what can we do to earn our public relations? And friends, there's things you can do as well in this area. As you volunteer, it really helps your career to list that the areas you volunteer for, and it will really help you get scholarships too, your leadership and volunteer areas. So let's look at sales promotion. Sales promotion is fast, my friends. It's short term. We are just trying to increase sales. We're doing a short run. Maybe the competition has lowered their prices, so we said we've got a brand new sale as well. These are your objectives, okay? We are short term. We really don't make a lot of relationships here because it's fast. It's a one-day sale. It's a limited time only, okay? We have the trade promotions as well. We have the business promotion and sales force promotions to get new product motivated salespeople to open up and sign new accounts. So again, that could be, whoever opens up the most accounts, you get a special bonus in your paycheck, maybe a trip somewhere, etc., etc. Here's the consumer tools, samples, all right, the most effective, and they're a little expensive, but who doesn't love a free sample when we go into Costco or go into our favorite stores? Coupons, okay, yeah, it's a little bit tougher there. I don't remember how many people you can coupon today. Why can't you just take the price off? Rebates, cash refunds, these are the most seldom used by consumers. They're always out there, but again, that means we have to do some work, don't we? We've got to send the proof of purchase, and Costco has a real good idea. Sometimes Home Depot does too. You just do it online, but boy, when you have to mail it in, it just becomes cumbersome. And of course, a premium that we buy exactly, as long as we buy it within this certain time, we're good to go. Other things that we can use right in here, your advertising specialties. Okay, those are some sort of promotional tools, giving something that chance to win, and again, the event marketing created by others. The promotions, let's look at it. Contests, premiums, displays, used to provide retailers to carry that brand. Hey, remember, on most of these shelves right in here, depending on the store, you have to pay slotting fees to Kroger and Albertsons and Tom Thumb and their respective brands across the nation. So sometimes we will put discounts and allowances. For instance, we'll also the producer will give the manager, will give retail salespeople some push monies. If we see an increase in sales in our area, we will actually give you a little bit of money at the end of the month because we'll get the sales reports and we'll send it directly to you. So those are the trade promotions. In the business world, I think you're looking at mainly to generate sales leads and motivate salespeople, a lot of conventions. And if you've ever worked a convention or been to one, been on both sides, of course, it's very interesting, and you will be definitely in your sales positions working some of those trade sales, because this is what we do. We get a lot of stimulant purchases, but we generate a lot of leads in there. Of course, as you develop a sales program, as we see it, what are we doing? How long? How much? How are we going to evaluate that program? When should it begin? Does it begin at the beginning of the season? Then we raise prices. Nordstrom's does that on their anniversary sale. They have the best prices earlier in the summer, and then we raise the prices afterwards. Do we do it at the middle of the season, 4 to 6 weeks after initial placement, or the end of the season? We're just trying to get rid of the dregs and clear out space for next year. What do you do? How much? What do you get excited about? Is 25% discount get you excited, or do we want the big 50%? That buy one, get one for half price, that's only 25%. Do the math, my friends. I like that straight percentage. There's that graduated amount, again, depending on what the store is. We do 25, 33, 40, then 50. And do we do the extra additional off? At that point, nobody's making money. We're just trying to, again, clear out that inventory space for the next season. How long is the sales promotion in traditional retailing, or for something that maybe Sophia wants to do, or for your own marketing plan? Is it just a quick day? Is it 3 days? Is it a week? Is it a month? Remember, there's going to be some psychology here. You ever miss that sale? When someone says, man, you should have been here yesterday. We were giving that 50% off. Now you're paying full price. Interesting. I think we've talked about our prices. Let's keep them as high as we possibly can. And let's have amazing customer experiences and services to keep that price high. There we go. How often, again, can this be overkilled? Yeah, because the consumer behavior, we're conditioned to only purchase on sale. Why would we pay anything at Macy's at full price? Because we know there's some sort of a sale going on at least every week, it seems like. And again, how do we evaluate? Okay, maybe it's increased sales, hopefully. Maybe, we've cleared out an area. We've got all the old stuff gone. Is there increased profitability? This would be nice. How about awareness and online activity? Maybe we have some more followers. Okay. Is it complementing our strategy? That's what we use in the sales promotion. Now let's look at personal selling. Again, I know many people don't say, I'm going to get my college degree to get into sales, but don't discount that. Tom Watson, who was the founder of IBM, had a very different vision of selling. He started IBM right after what we would call the Civil War. There was still that Civil War mentality that if you were in sales, you were that old carpetbagger coming from the North and just preying upon the disenfranchised of the South. So he really put sales into the professional image. High ethical standards, tremendous training. It'd be a great company for one of you to work for. Listen, observe, study through observation. And for the first years of IBM's existence, he would hire just Ivy League graduates. I mean, he really wanted to promote the sales position, and we have a lot for him to think about that. Characteristics of a good salesperson. Are you a teacher? Yeah, you're informing. You've got to be part psychologist. You've got to deal with conflict. Glad handler. You're always shaking that hand with somebody maybe a potential customer. Have to be a diplomat, very diplomatic. If things don't go well, generally speaking, the company doesn't call a service department. They're going to call you and say, hey, this product you sold me is not working. Well, I got to be able to fix that. I like this. Part entrepreneur. Many people would love to have their own business, and what better way to get that experience than through the business-to-business sales force. Innovator, of course, you've got to be a problem solver because there are customers coming to you, whether in the consumer or the business route. I have a problem. Does your product solve it? Good salespeople understand pain points of the customer and there's real problems out there, and many times the customer just simply can't spell out the pain point. But a good salesperson can figure that out. Solving those problems. I think this is the fifth P. All right? Let's look on that fifth P, because we're all selling ourselves, aren't we? And for you in your own business, you will be the chief salesperson for the business that you represent, and especially your own. So, presentations, we're building up those relationships, we're prospecting, we're communicating, we're servicing, we're gathering information and building that. Do you have what is called your 90-second elevator speech ready? Who do you work with? What do you deliver? How do you do it? What do you do, and who are you? You can't have a 10-minute speech because no one wants to listen to you. 90 seconds may be all you have to make that impression. Again, this is my business, this is my service, this is what I do, and how can I get you to be my customer? Okay? This is what I do, this is what I'm working towards, this is my degree I'm trying to graduate with, because you're going to have to tell that to your family members. And again, in your interviews, or just spot check to get that interview. Develop it, my friends. Who are you? All right? What do you do? Why do you do it? I think is very important. And most importantly, why should I hire you? This is very much the entire marketing process if you're in a sales position, okay? You're finding the customers, you're coordinating the sales, you build the relationship, so you get to utilize all of the marketing process in that sales position. Yes, there's the B2B, all right? These are very large dollar sales, large potential for income and career. That's why I say it's a very fast route to get to that six-figure income. You can still make a very, healthy living in consumer, business to consumer. They're smaller dollar sales, and you're more in the retail world, okay? Or you may be with your own business, and again, you're selling right to your consumer. Recruiting for salespeople, all right? Our sales force is profit. Remember, the marketing world is profitability. We're bringing in money. So, this is how salespeople, there's always that thinking, if you can sell for company A, you should be able to sell for company B, C, and D, provided they're in the same industry. And even if they're not in the same industry, if you have that great skill set, the skills are very transferable. You're usually always networking. You know salespeople from other companies. There's always types of referrals. Many times, your customer that you may be selling to in the B2B world, even in the B2C world, may offer you a job. All right? You have internet, online. There's all sorts of ways. That's why usually a good salesperson, if they're out of a job, for some strange reason, they're not out of a job for very long. So there's a lot of mobility in the career of sales. Compensation, again, maybe this might get you excited about a career. Hey, you got that first job, professional job that you're in. Congratulations. And let's say they start you out at $52,000 a year with benefits and salary. Nice starting salary. Great. All of a sudden, you're in there 3 years, and how much has your income increased? If you're in that same position, unfortunately, probably not a lot. Average raises per year are right about 3%, 4% if you're very fortunate. Let's look what a salesperson would make in a B2B business. Well, first of all, you'd have an expense account because you're going to be taking people out to lunch, out to dinner. That's awfully nice. You'd have a car allowance, if not straight up a whole brand new car. Very nice. Hey, that just adds another 30 grand possibly to your salary. Usually you have a flexible schedule because you have different appointments. Now you are going to work a lot. Hey, sales is a very stressful job, but life's pretty stressful in itself, right? So be rewarded for it. The type of compensation. Maybe it's a straight salary. You don't see that too much. You do see straight commission quite a bit. Now that's a lot of risk, which means your income is unlimited, so to speak. But you have no safety net as you would with that straight salary. Generally speaking, if you're very good, though, you might like that straight commission because, again, you can certainly kick those six figures in very easily. The salary plus bonus, and most of your top-level sales personnel have a salary and commission and a bonus. nice, which means they have that straight. Maybe they set it right out at $60,000 salary, but what they should be selling, they could possibly double that, easily double that just in commission. And then when they hit their mark, they get another bonus on top of that. So now we're at 120 with a $20,000 bonus. We're at 140, and you've got a car that is not yours. You don't have to worry about all the expenses of that because it's provided for you. Or you have a nice car allowance, which means we're going to give you an extra $400 a month, and you pick out the car that you want, provided that it always abides by company guidelines. Not many positions for an entry-level person for that professional job can give you that type of variety. So like I say, if you're on the competitive side, you love to compete, you love to earn it, sales may be just your calling in life. There's the steps in selling. Just like marketing, we're researching, we're approaching, you get to present, you handle those objectives, you close the deal, and you always follow up on that sale, and you follow up on that relationship. We are building and maintaining those customer relationships. So I hope that might put sales into a different light for you, and hopefully it is a possibility for your career. Like I say, if so many students want to be an entrepreneur, sales is a natural fit for that, and then you can go off with that experience and create your own business. And at least you have the safety net of an organization that is supplying the product or the service, all the upfront costs.